I don't make speeches. I said, you are tomorrow night. He said, I don't even own a suit. I said, so? He said, what am I going to say? I said, why don't you just go up and tell them why you're supporting me? And he did. And the people who were there said it was the speech of the night. It wasn't because he was a professional speaker. In fact, it was funny. He said when he went up there that night, the MC said, okay, let's see, we have Senator so-and-so speaking for Senator McCain, we have Congressman so-and-so speaking for Mr. Romney, and what office do you hold? He said, well, I don't hold an office. In fact, I don't have an office. I drive a truck. It made it possible for me to be here. There's a young man named Josh in Birmingham, Alabama. He works as a janitor. He's got a 28-year-old wife with cerebral palsy. She's in a wheelchair. He sent us $20. He said, I'd like to send more, but he said, this is all I can afford. He described what his wife's situation was and that he was working hard. And he said, next month I'll try to do the same. When I was in Birmingham, I was going down the hallway, headed into the event. I saw a young man in front of him, young lady in a wheelchair. He held up a sign. See, I'd read his story on our blog site, on the internet. He had sent to us his story. And I didn't even know he lived in Birmingham, but he held up a sign that said, janitor. I knew exactly who he was. I went over and talked to him. I got to meet him and talk to his wife. And I realized that's why we're in this campaign. We're in this campaign for the flight attendant I met on a flight between Los Angeles and Boston on an all-night flight when I left there at 11 o'clock at night to fly all night to get to Boston at 7 in the morning so I could then drive an hour to Manchester, New Hampshire and campaign all day. And when she told me, she said, I just want you to know that I'm so grateful that somebody understands how hard many of us are working out here to try to take care of our families. I could give you stories like that I've experienced across this campaign because our campaign has always been about the people of this country who didn't expect a whole lot if I got elected president. It wasn't like they were going to hope that I would name them ambassador to Switzerland. Some of you were saying, hey, I thought I was going to get to be ambassador to Switzerland. It's about people who simply believe that taxes ought to be lower, not higher. The government ought to be less, not more. People who believe that mothers and fathers raise better kids than governments ever will. People who believe that our tax system shouldn't punish small business owners and that we ought to get the fair tax so we can get rid of the IRS.